Okay, tonight we are getting into a bunch of mess, a bunch of tea. Let's hit these headlines. Tonight we're getting into Cardi B, Stefon Diggs, the Houston Texans. Is this a thing? That's what's circulating online. And there's a little bit more to this story that we're going to get into. Also, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Jaguar Wright has been making a lot of claims. Well, somebody has issued an apology to the Queen Bee and Jigga for Jaguar Wright's comments. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into Lisa Marie Presley, her debut memoir, posthumously, has debuted, and she's revealed an interesting fact about Michael Jackson and their relationship. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about a potential update in the Tupac investigation. So let's hit these headlines. I'm Jill Monroe. I'm an entertainment journalist. If you are not familiar, stick around. So first up, we have to talk about, of course, what happened. I think it was last week now, Jaguar Wright appeared on Piers Morgan. She had a lot of smoke for a lot of people, Jay-Z and Beyoncé included. Well, Piers Morgan today issued an apology to Jay-Z and Beyoncé for Jaguar's appearance. I mean, listen, she made some wild accusations while she was on there. So it only makes sense that at some point somebody was going to have to answer to that. And I mean, so what it feels like is that when it was just on the blogs and it was kind of low key, they were just like letting it ride and ignore it. But now that it has gotten a little more mainstream, they're like, all right, enough is enough. And I can't blame them because Jaguar was saying some crazy stuff. She accused them of holding victims. She suggested that they were somehow involved in the passing of Aaliyah. She also claimed that they were involved in some unscrupulous acts with unwilling participants, similar to Diddy. So they their lawyer rather, sent a letter to Piers Morgan, and they asked for those claims to be retracted and for that segment to be removed from her interview. So he apologized and indicated that they would be removed. What he said exactly was, the thing about platforms, the reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. So that's why we invited her, Jaguar Wright, onto the show to be interviewed. He went on to say, the people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. We have had lawyers contact us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. We've also, therefore, complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Morgan went on to address that his decision to edit those remarks, which aired in his show Uncensored, which is on, I think it's the Fox News network, which is a network that is known for, in theory, what they say is allowing free speech. So he admitted that there are limits to free speech when it comes to certain obligations, and that statements like Jaguar Wright's needed to be handled carefully. So he said, editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored, but like the proverbial crisis fire in a crowded theater, yelling fire in a crowded theater, there are legal limits on us too. So we apologize to Jay-Z and Beyoncé. So boom, they are taking those out of there. A lot of people have asked why there's been no legal action taken against Jaguar Wright. Well, I think that one, financially, what does she have to lose? She's just now, because of all of this, starting to get her coins back up. She has indicated on a recent interview that she has a legal fund that she has her Cash App linked to, that she said she needs help with. She, interestingly enough, probably before the Piers Morgan apology aired, said that she knows that Piers has a very strong vetting team, and they vetted her stories very, very carefully, and they knew she was telling the truth. And that is not the stance that he is taking in this apology. So I see why she might be wanting to get her coins up for a legal defense, because the type of allegations that she continues to make are very, very serious ones. And she says she has the proof to back these claims up. And I hope that she does. And she is not just using, whether true or not, these individuals' pain or the idea of such as a way to benefit her in some type of way and bring her name back into the light. So we'll have to see what more develops with that. Let me know what your thoughts on that. Leave it in the comments. All right, next up, we have to talk about Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, and all of this drama surrounding them. Now, Stefon Diggs is currently with the Houston Texans, who are having not a great season, and I think he is still injured. I don't think he's played a game yet this season for the Texans. It's his first season with the Texans. He spent a few years in Buffalo. So we know Cardi B and Offset had the drama where Offset accused Cardi of cheating on him, and she was like, and did. Well, DJ Academics recently came out on his stream and said that Cardi didn't exactly cheat on him. She was having conversations with this particular NFL player, and the NFL player is Stefon Diggs. Now, here's the thing about Stefon Diggs. He has been linked to quite a few women over the years. According to Academics, he is actually with several rappers and other athletes' girlfriends currently. But that's speculation. That's from Academics. The details that he relayed about Cardi was that, Offset was out doing what Offset has been known to do throughout their marriage, entertain other women, and that Cardi discovered it and she got mad. So she wanted to remind him that she's that girl and that he's not the only one that has people looking at him. And so that during this time, and she was pregnant, but that they never hooked up in person. It was just text messages, and somehow Offset got into her phone and found them and overreacted. Well, Academics certainly has a lot of information about this, a lot of firsthand info. As people have their sources, but it's being said that Cardi personally probably linked this information to Academics. So this is the situation with them. They were having conversation, but hadn't hooked up, and Offset was mad because, people never like when you do a them on them. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. When you flip the game on him. So Offset allegedly was upset when he discovered these text messages, but nothing else happened. Well, coincidentally, now that Stefon's name is in the blog world circulating, a guy that used to be his stylist, or maybe they were in business together, allegedly putting together a clothing line. His name is Chris Blake Griffin. He sued Stefon's half-brother a while ago, claiming that the guy beat him up in an elevator and robbed him. Well, now the guy is coming back out and making claims that this happened in retaliation to cover up a situation where Stefon allegedly tried to coerce him into a situation that was not comfortable for he and his manhood. This is what this Chris Blake Griffin is alleging on his Instagram, right? He put out footage of allegedly Stefon's half-brother robbing him. He said the proof that he has is that you saw Stefon Diggs on Monday Night Football with a custom Chrome Hearts wallet chain that he designed and put together himself and was taken during this robbery. Now, here is the other side of this whole drama. Allegedly, this particular individual has been accused of stealing from his clients. As I mentioned, he's a stylist. He might have been a stylist for Stefon, and that there are issues there. He makes reference to it in this blog post on Instagram. Well, not a blog post, an Instagram post, but where he says that his character might be questioned for some past activities or things that you have heard about him, but that doesn't mean that he should be discredited. So I don't know if that's real. To my knowledge, he hasn't made any formal charges against Stefon. So take that for what you will. But it is just unfortunate timing that Cardi was trying to stunt on Offset a little. And now this other person has come along with these allegations against Stefon. We'll have to see if they're warranted or not. Again, he put them up on his Instagram, a very lengthy post. He included the surveillance footage from this robbery that he said took place, and that the security in his building, actually, he did say that he attempted to make some type of police or security violation about what happened and was shut down because of the nature of who it involved. Not sure if that is true or not. Again, these are things that he is indicating on his Instagram. But unfortunately for Cardi, it's like allegations that Cardi also dealt with in the past as well. But she and Offset have been seen hanging out together. She clapped back at people like, see, it was a publicity stunt. They're still together, saying that she is a newborn. Offset is a good dad. She just doesn't want to be with him. And I can certainly understand that. It takes a lot to uncouple from a situation. And sometimes you are tired, but it's not like you can get rid of the person. So we'll have to see what develops as far as what is happening with Offset and Cardi and all of this drama. And, you know, it's unfortunate that Cardi takes a moment to try and remind him that she's her, and boom, whatever happens, happens. So I hope that, one, the allegations against Stefon are not true, because those are serious allegations. You can head to Chris Blake Griffin's Instagram if you want to get into them. I will not get into them further, but they're kind of deep at what he's alleging. And he said the robbery, though, was meant to silence him. So that is as far as we're going to go with that particular topic. Leave it in the comments. Let me know if you have any thoughts about that one. Next up, we're going to get into Tia Mowry. So we know that Tia and Corey Hardick were married, for 14 years. They've been divorced for almost 2 years now, officially divorced for almost a year. And Tia has a new reality show, Tia Mowry's My Next Act, and it's all about her journey post-divorce and what her experience has been venturing out into the dating world. And on a recent, well, not a recent episode, the first episode actually, she mentioned that Corey was the first boyfriend she ever had. She met him when she was 20 years old, and her parents forbid her to date until she was 18. And so at that point, she was new to the world and experience. Corey was the first everything for her in life. She said that, she lost her virginity at 25, married soon after, and now 14 years later, here she is thrust into the dating world. And in a recent interview, she talked about how she's going to put a pause on dating for a moment because she's meeting men and she's not really clear on if they're really there to get to know her as a woman, or if they're trying to get to know Tia from sister to sister, all of these things that, celebrities go through. And considering that she's only dated one man, I imagine that it's quite difficult because, one, that was a long time ago when they started dating, right? She's 46 years old now. They met when she was 20. So the dating world is totally different. Cell phones have a whole new thing, texting, social media. So I can imagine it would probably be a little overwhelming for her. But of course, people are like, see, you should have stayed married. You had a good man, Savannah. You should have stayed right there. And I say, give her a break. She is living out loud her experience, her ups and downs with it. And sometimes you're going to have moments where you don't connect with people, and she's learning in the process. She was with one man for the majority of her life. So I don't know why people are so hard on Tia. I know that they have called her selfish. She also talked about her relationship with her sister, Tamara, and how they have sort of lost that day-to-day connection. It can sometimes happen when kids come into your life, you're married, different things. She said that she wishes, though, that she hadn't revealed all of the details about that, because people are taking it the wrong way and sort of running with it. And they're also reflecting back to their reality show together, where Tamara told her that she was selfish and that she barely listened to her and things of that nature. So this is something that has come up in their adult life quite frequently. Of course, we hope that they come together and work through it, because we love them together. But, people grow, and sometimes there are moments when they are not connected in the same way. So we will see what happens. Speaking of first times, and I'm going to just be honest, I don't know if I truly believe this one, but we're going to roll with it. Maybe it is to the best of this individual's knowledge, and we can't really ask her. But Lisa Marie Presley, that is Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley's only child, and Michael Jackson. Well, no, did he marry Debbie Rowe, or did they just have children together? I can't remember that situation. Conversation for another day. But her memoir has dropped this week, and it is titled From Here to the Great Unknown. She made recorded copies of a diary about her life. And so it's been with the intent of making a memoir, which now has been released. And in it, she talked about her experience with Michael. Michael was 35. She was 25 when they met and eventually married. She claims that they started dating in 1994 when she was married to Danny Keough, who is, I might be jacking up his last name. I apologize if I am. But to her first husband, who was her daughter, her older children's father, I believe. At any rate, she said that Michael shared with her that he had never been with anyone before her, that he had kissed Tatum O'Neal. She's an actress that was popular in the 70s. Her dad was an actor, Ryan O'Neal. She said he had a thing. She talked about their thing with Brooke Shields. She said that that was never physical. She said that Madonna tried to, hook him up, but he was nervous about being with Madonna. I don't know. I have questions. Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, do you really think Lisa Marie Presley, 35 years old, was his first time being with a woman? I find that hard to believe, especially in the 70s, the way the Jacksons are pursued. Now, what I could believe is that perhaps he wasn't actively involved with women that way, just because maybe an early experience might have scared him or scarred him. We don't know what happened. We know that those women were pretty aggressive at that time. But Lisa Marie says that he was terrified. He didn't want to make the wrong move, and that he was fresh out and she was the first. Again, it's possible. We don't know. We weren't there. I have no real evidence to support this fact, but I just have a hard time believing it. I do. Anything is possible, though. And way to throw Madonna under the bus, saying he was scared of her. I mean, I guess that's understanding. The other interesting thing that came out in some of the excerpts from her book is that she mentioned how when her son passed away, and this is actually really actually kind of heartbreaking. In addition to, Riley is her daughter's name, sorry. So her first husband, that is her daughter. But her son passed away. And she said that there was a separate bedroom in her house where she kept him for 2 months. She said she found a very empathetic, as she put it, funeral home, excuse me, funeral home owner. And they said, we'll bring Ben to you. The room was kept at 55 degrees, to preserve the body. And she cared for them. I know, as a mother, losing your child is probably heartbreaking. I don't know how healthy that situation was, but I hope she is at peace now, and I hope her son is at peace. But let me know in the comments, because I just do not, I'm sorry, I just do not believe that MJ was a virgin until he was 35. It's possible, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. I just, I don't know. I have a hard time believing it. But you let me know what you think. All right. Meanwhile, we had to have a Diddy update, because why? There's news every day. So we know that Talia Graves came out and accused Diddy and a man named Joe, who has also come out and disputed all of Talia's accusations of assaulting her back in, I believe she said 2001, in the early 2000s. Well, Joe did an interview where he produced an Instagram account that had begun DMing him months and months ago, asking him if he was the Big Joe that used to work for Diddy, and a bunch of questions, and was saying to him something about making accusations, but if he would speak for her, she would keep him out of it. So sounded like a shakedown. And an ex-boyfriend of Talia's is now coming out and claiming that she also tried to get him to participate and make up stories about this time, about things that she allegedly went through. Well, Gloria Allred is her lawyer, and we know Gloria is someone who has made a career out of standing up for women, out of taking on cases, especially as we saw the Me Too movement progress. We know that she was heavily involved and has been for quite some time. She was a part of the feminist movement, got her start early, blah, blah, blah. Well, they have come out and said, basically alluded to maybe some of Diddy's people have gotten to him. Maybe people are being paid off to spin a different narrative. I don't know, but what I can say is that at this point, with an 800 number, with all of the things that are happening, are there going to be people, unfortunately, that are trying to do money grabs? That is it. Of course, police will investigate her claims. We'll see what happens. I mean, she is number whatever in a long line of cases that we are, again, probably will have to wait some time to see what develops from them. Another interesting thing that has come about is the estate of Tupac Shakur is reportedly not taking the rumors lightly that that Puffy was involved in Pac's murder. They are reportedly looking into possible links and deciding how they will proceed according to multiple sources. So, that would be this whole thing has been crazy. But if that, we know that has been speculated. We know that, what is the guy's name that is in jail in Vegas? Oh, I'm blanking on his name. But we know that he has alluded to the entire time that Puffy offered $1 million to take care of Pac, but that the money never changed hands and disappeared. And the individual he is claiming disappeared with the money is now deceased. So we will never really know the truth as far as that particular story goes. But this would be a wild ending to the whole Tupac, Biggie, 90s bad boy era. Just a lot that has happened with that. It's really sad, because it really was a cultural movement. And if it all goes down in flames with Puffy, what do you do? Same thing that we have questioned with songs from R. Kelly, not just in his personal catalog, but songs that he has written for, songs like You Are Not Alone from Michael Jackson, which we know he actually wrote for one of his young victims, can't recall who, but there is that tie. Will the same thing happen with the Bad Boy catalog, 112, Faith, Biggie? How does this all happen? I know Valletta Wallace got on a call with Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard. And we know Gene Deal has been all across the internet, all across YouTube, speaking in Vlad TV, various interviews about his time with Diddy, making accusations, putting things, facts, scenarios out there for you to digest. And Valletta got on a call, which they recorded, and she basically said that she appreciates him speaking out and she wants to do it more. So we know that Valletta Wallace, Biggie's mother, has always been on the fence about Diddy and eventually spoke out. So she is supporting Gene in whatever movement he has going and in his speaking out. So not sure what that will lead and how that aspect will all come out, but she is taking his side. So we're waiting for, of course, anything, as it has been for, I guess, what has it been? About a month now? Maybe 3 weeks. It hasn't even been that long since Diddy is in custody. And every week, some new layer is being added on or something else is peeling back. So, you know, Tupac holds a special place in my heart, as he does with everyone. But yeah, I just can't imagine that. So let me know what you think. Do you think that Beyonce and Jay-Z's lawyers should have reached out to Jaguar Wright? Do you think maybe they have? Because here's the other thing. Does Jaguar have a permanent address? Is there a place where they could reach her? Are they trying? Because as I mentioned, Jaguar was on an interview earlier today where she talked about needing a legal fund now and that people could donate to her Cash App or go to her website and contribute money. And I fear she may need it. As I've said before, I hope that she really does have the proof to back up all of these claims, because at some point you're going to have to answer for the information and the things that you put out into the universe. So thank you for tapping in. If you feel like it, check out my interviews. There's some interviews with the cast of Power, Shrinking Season 2, that's upcoming, and a couple of other things. And